I think the more gloomy days, I guess I'm not a weather forecaster. So if it's a gloomy day, I mean, everyone's, kind of mental attitude is not so great. You can even see it hour by hour. It's like you start out and it's dark and cold and gray, and all of a sudden at noon the sun comes out and everybody's happy and kind of energized and charged. If you have longer and longer days like that, or more days strung together, that does have an effect on families. And I don't know if that means we get light boxes or but yeah, so it is interesting. This was a pretty dreary fall, I would say. We had a couple of weeks where I was like, this is like February, March, it's just gray and everybody's kind of down, and kids are a little moody because they can't go outside and they can't do this. And so yeah, you need sunlight, you need that physical activity, all of those charge up those endorphins. And
one issue related to, or that crops, one issue that appears after natural disasters that doesn't get talked about quite a bit, but which is really quite serious, are mental health issues. And so those can be tied either directly to traumatic experiences during the disaster itself that continue affecting a person well afterwards, but also issues, mental health issues, stress related to the challenges of rebuilding both your homes and your lives afterwards. And of course those sorts of issues are going to affect vulnerable populations more than others. Basically, first of all, because they will generally have less access to the sort of mental health care services that might be able to help with those issues. And then also, they just face greater levels of insecurity, fewer resources available to them to help put their lives back together.
I think for Native people, the relationship between them and the environment is very different from Western perspective. So, Western perspective, maybe that you have this land and you like this land and you admire it. But Native people view land as a connection to Mother Earth and as tied to themselves, and that degradation of the land is a degradation of yourself, and that you are losing a part of who you are with the loss of that land.
So mental health is also a big concern with climate change. Some of the obvious issues of post-traumatic stress following storms, following heat waves and hurricanes and flooding and droughts and famine. That's a major issue. The other problem, I think, is that there's real stress. There's real concern, especially among younger individuals, about what does the future hold for them. I know there's some surveys that show there's a bit of an anxiety. We don't know the real impact right now as far as that added stress level to people. We do know that stress is very harmful for general health. There are plenty of studies about stress. But I can't say for sure, attributing how much more stress climate change is happening. But it is, sort of a population-wide phenomenon that if you talk to young people, they're worried about climate change and their stress level is increased. So, putting those things together about some of the post-traumatic stress from trauma and these more generalized increases in stress and concern about the future, those are some of the areas that I think people ought to be aware of.